having children has changed me as a teacher, because I've now gone through that school journey as a parent.
I'm going to praise your mum now, actually.
Oh.
I think a support network is incredibly important.
I'm spending time with them with the right energy. I wasn't spending the time with them with the right energy. I was knackered, and then the weekends would come along, and that's the time when everyone goes, family time, and you're like, I'm on the floor.
Welcome to episode 17 of the Fun Dad, Dean and Wife Unfiltered podcast. I am Dean.
And I'm Sara.
And we have started this podcast to give a true representation of parenting.
We like to give an unfiltered, realistic view of what it is like to be working parents, juggling working life, and actually trying to have a life ourselves.
So today we are lucky enough to be joined by Kelly Taylor, otherwise known as Kids in the Commute. Kelly is a content creator. Like myself, we make similar type content, keeping it real like I do as well. So you share the trials and tribulations in like a comedic way, don't you? So, yeah.
Yeah, you like to normalise the chaos that most of us feel, yeah. But welcome, Kelly.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on.
You're very welcome. And I wanted to just start this by, so I met Kelly, well, you actually slid into my DMs, I think. You did. Why did you slide into my DMs?
Because I've stayed in your father's house.
Yeah. So I just randomly get this message on Kelly.
Not stayed with your father.
Oh. Yeah, was my dad there?
No, not that time. No, it was really weird because so we've got mutual friends.
Yeah.
And I'd stayed in this amazing villa in Lanzarote. And then randomly was talking to my mate, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that's Sarah's dad's place." I'm like, "Are you joking? That is the most random thing," which is why I slid into your DMs going,
You did?
"Oh, I think we have a mutual friend, and I've stayed in the villa in Lanzarote."
That's so weird. It's good though, isn't it?
It's amazing. I
Love a little
loved
holiday.
it. It was not what I was expecting at all. It's palatial.
Yeah.
I felt love that holiday.
What
Still
does
look back at
palatial
it.
mean?
Oh.
It's just it's incredible.
Do you need a subtitle?
It was just more
You're going to
luxurious
use
than I
language
was
like that
expecting.
underneath subtitles, yeah.
I think I was just expecting like a normal type villa that you normally get, and it wasn't. It was just this 4-story. Just
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, I felt like that when I first went. You walked in like, wow, yeah, this is nice.
It's incredible. Absolutely loved it. But I always look back on that holiday. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, there you go.
Well done, Kenneth. If you're listening, he's probably not.
Make him.
But I was going to say, I really, before I obviously knew that there was that connection, I looked at your Instagram anyway, because our girls are actually really similar in ages, aren't they?
Oh, they're indeed, yeah. In fact, we were just discussing earlier, weren't we? I didn't realise that Grace is actually in the same year as Daisy.
Yeah. And then Abby, what's she gone into year 2 or year 3?
She's just gone into year 2. Yeah. She's loving life.
Oh.
Absolutely loving life. She could not wait to get back to school. Every morning, getting her up is normally a bit of a struggle. She's in bed. She's happy as Larry. First day of the year, she's run into the bedroom at 6:30, fully dressed in uniform. She's like, right, ready.
Oh my God, she's ready.
Oh my God, she was absolutely ready. I wasn't. I wasn't anywhere near ready. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, our kids always love school, aren't they? That's a good thing. Yeah.
That is a really, really good thing, I think, as well. And I think, like you saying that she was running into you, something that I've seen the shift from as well, because you now do social media full time, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. And so talk us back, like before you started the social media a little bit, what would your mornings have looked like then? Would they have looked any different?
Incredibly different. And one of the many, many reasons as to why I shifted to doing what I'm doing full time. It was really hard. So I went back to work when the kids were a year old. Grace was a year old. And my morning would be get up around 6 o'clock to feed her, to then get myself ready, to then get them both to a childminder for 5 to 7 in the morning, to then drive, cycle, run, however I was getting to the train station that morning by 7:15 to get a train into town, to be at my desk for just before 8:30, to then, as all working mums, because I think it is a working mum thing, try and prove themselves even harder because, you've got to justify the hours that you're there and you work yourself to death, and then leave at 4:30 with all the looks that you get because you're a part-timer, because you're leaving at 4:30, to then get the train to go and pick the kids up, to then pick them up, and they'd obviously been holding on to every single emotion known to man, and that restraint collapse, and they release it on you. You're knackered after a full day, they're knackered after a full day, and then no one's at their best. You're putting them to bed, trying to have those precious moments while no one's in the mood, and then rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Oh, and then log back on. Sorry, once they're in bed, then log back on.
You're doing it in the evening as well.
Oh my God, you had to, because you had to kind of match up the hours that you were either supposed to be doing or because of the workload that you'd got. So it was just, it was
I feel quite bad moaning about our mornings now because of my job. I don't start till 9:30. So
that's lovely.
Yeah, it's we've never had that kind of manicness in the morning, have we? I mean,
you have your own type of manicness trying to get them ready, but
yeah, of course it is, but not like getting them ready in that speed, dropping them somewhere, then rushing to work myself.
But the funny thing is, it doesn't feel manic, so it normalises after time. So you've been doing it for so long. This is your normal, so you don't think to yourself, "There's another way to do this," or I wonder how anyone else is doing it, because this is the way it's working for you. I've got this. It's brilliant. I'm smashing it. We're all good. And then you start to think, but is there another way that we could potentially be doing this? And that seed gets planted.
Yeah.
And then you start to talk to people that you know and have bigger conversations about other people's working practices and the infrastructure that they put around themselves and their childcare routine and everything. You go, okay, maybe this isn't the best way we could be doing this. Maybe there is another way we could be doing it.
Yeah.
So I moved to compressed hours rather than what I was doing previously, and that helped freeing me up a day. But I love that day. That day when I could take the kids to school, I could just get a bit of work done quietly. I could then go and pick them back up from school. I loved it so much. And I was like, I think I want more of this.
Yeah.
And that is when I started. I was always doing social media along the side of it. But realistically, I've been building up a business for 4 years, as well as doing my part-time job, my full-time job, should say. And I was absolutely knackered.
Because that was going to be my question, was do you think you could have kept up that model when the children were little any longer? Or what do you, like, if you go back and you think, right, what would my life look like if I carried on? Do you think it's maintainable for mums? I know we're not judging all the dads out there, but predominantly the one I'm talking to you and in the circles of my friends, because they do say that burnout in working mums is all-time high.
I stopped doing what I was doing because I was burning out. I mean, I had a really bad dip in my mental health because, fair enough, I was doing 2 jobs at once, so that didn't help the situation. I was working on my own business, plus I was doing a full-time job. It was a senior role. I had a very big team. I had a very important remit. There was a lot of pressures coming from everywhere. But I've always been highly competitive with myself, eldest child of 4. So, that perfectionism comes in. Everything has to be done to the right level for, in every single way possible.
But I'm sure you're like that as a mum as well. So then you're trying to be a perfectionist at work. You're trying to be a perfectionist at home. You're trying to be a perfectionist as a parent. It's
not sustainable.
It's unattainable.
Not for long periods of time.
No,
you can do it for a short period, but then you will burn out.
But also, I think you start to question, what's perfectionism? What is perfect? What are we trying to achieve here? Like, sometimes you look on social media and you see some people's version of perfect is completely unattainable. It's like, I've got 5 children. Look at my really clean house. Do you have 5 children?
Well, that's those videos when they got like that £5 million mansion, not no mess, and the kids are just like,
they've blatantly got a messy drawer or a messy cupboard. I just don't believe it.
Have you seen that episode of Friends where Monica's got the Monica cupboard? Everyone's got a Monica cupboard or a Monica room. It's there, or they've got help or whatever. I mean, kudos to them. I'm not slighting those people in any way. I think it's incredible that they've found something that works for them. That's amazing. Yeah. But for most people,
only if what they're showing is true. If what they're showing is true. That's debatable.
I don't like it if someone is trying to mislead you and say, because I think that, again, is the pressures that people then put on themselves. Because, especially as new parents, you're very vulnerable and you are looking around going, what's everybody else doing? How's everyone else doing it? And social media really plays into that in quite a risky way if someone is basically creating fake perfection and saying this can be achieved.
But that is 100% happening. No doubt. Those pages drive... Awful. Yeah, it does. It causes big time mental health problems in parents.
Do you know what I always don't get as well? When people set up, they do like a day in the life of, and they set up the camera, and they film themselves waking up. You must have got out of bed to set up the camera to get back into bed to fake waking up.
Oh yeah, who has
time for that? I do not have time for that.
No, you don't. I mean, I've genuinely, hand on heart, I have considered doing a day in the life of. But I wouldn't do it as I'm doing it because I don't have the time to do it as I'm doing it. It's like when people say outfit of the day and you go, no, you're not wearing that today. I think everyone has to take it with a little, tongue in cheek, really. Like, I don't think it's...
Yeah.
You're pre-planning a day in your life anyway. If you do
you
one,
are.
you have to pre-plan your normal day and you think, I'll film it then. That's
100%.
normal and I'll film that.
Yeah.
So they're all doing that. I've done one a little while ago and it was not a bit of me, really, to be honest.
I think people are genuinely interested about what people's routines are because everyone's nosy, right? Everyone knows that. Everyone's nosy.
See, because I'm a teacher, I do draw myself to, I love watching Day in the Life of a Teacher because I'm like, oh, what are you up to? I have an interest in that.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
There is that. But going back to your one of your original questions, which is it manageable being a working mum? It is to the point where other people are making it work, right? So it is manageable in the fact that people are doing it. But do I think the system helps them achieve that? No, I do not. No. I think it is completely stacked against working mums. I think the only reason people are able to do what they are doing is because they themselves are making it work. They themselves are getting up at stupid o'clock and putting in tight routines and probably feeling so much guilt and so much pressure every single day.
Or if they got a stay-at-home dad, because there is people out there with stay-at-home dads, so the mums that then that model can work. I know that's not that common, is it? But that does happen.
Yeah.
It does 100%.
I think you just need one parent in the home.
Yeah.
That for me, that's a model that obviously I think most people would aspire and love that.
I absolutely love it when you're off. I love it when I wake up and I know it's a Thursday and a Friday and I'm like, yes, you're off. I just
because the house is actually slightly tidier.
No, it just frees everyone up, and obviously the kids love having you there. When you're working and I'm working and everyone, it's just everything feels more tense in the house.
You don't realise what's really important to the children, and I know that now. You must know when the kids get older, Daisy's taking more pride in her appearance now.
Yes.
And it's a bit like, Daddy can't do my hair. I want my hair. I want you to do my hair. And then some morning she'll say to me like, oh, wake me up before you leave. I'm like, Daisy, it'll be 6:30 in the morning. But she's like, wake me up before you leave. I want you to do my hair. Or, oh, I don't want to do my reading with Daddy. We're reading quite girly books now. Like love a little bit of Jacqueline Wilson or like something like that.
I get quite offended by that.
I know.
I like a little bit of Jacqueline Wilson. You're feeling a bit left out.
I'd quite like to read with her. It's better than reading with her than it is Ruby.
Oh, no. Painful.
Oh my god! Read one sentence, gets distracted, then starts doing something else. I'm like, no, we're reading the book.
But
another sentence, back again.
We're like reading, we're in this chapter and we're reading that, and she doesn't necessarily want. There's just some things where they want me, and I'm not around. So I really admire you for making that brave decision to break away from your career and try something new, and it's obviously paying off, isn't it?
It's painful. I'm absolutely loving it. It's freeing up so much more time to be with the girls now. It comes, it's a blessing and a curse, because it's a blessing in the fact that I get to spend so much time with the family, but I think it's more that I'm spending time with them with the right energy. I wasn't spending the time with them with the right energy. I was knackered, and then the weekends would come along, and that's the time when everyone goes, family time, and you're like, I'm on the floor from my working week and I just want to curl into a ball, but you're like, no, and the guilt in your head goes, no, you can't do that, because this is the time that you're spending with your family, this is the time your children need you, so you give them their all, and then it gets to Sunday night and you're knackered.
I feel like that a little bit.
Yeah.
As a working dad, and I am a working dad, I spend a lot of time being a dad and working, don't I get to the week and I'm like, I just want a day to myself. I want to go and play golf, or I want to just day off. But it's supposed to be family time, and I'm like, I need a bit of...
Yeah, like that football Saturday, I'm like, I try in my head, I'm like, I need to be rational. He's worked all week, da-da-da-da-da. But then I'll be like, I don't know, clearing out the cupboard under the stairs or something, and I'll be getting everything ready, or the girls need a snack, whatever. And he's sitting on the sofa, like, watching the football. But I'm like building in my resentment inside myself, like, get the fuck up and start helping me at some point. But also, I'm also like, no, remember, I think it's getting that balance right.
Of course. I think one day at home with the family and all housework, I think, and then one day, maybe half a day playing golf or something, one of the others is enough for me. If I'm both days at home and it's just housework and family stress, I feel like Sunday night, I'm just get back to work. I need to go back to work.
No, I completely get that. I mean, I encourage Ian... I encourage him to leave. I encourage him to go out a lot, because I know what it is to work in corporate, and I know the different types of pressures that you have, that you're not in control of your own time. There's always a meeting that you've got to go to that you probably don't want to go to. There's a meeting that someone's trying to make you go to. There's always something going on, and you're never in control of your own time. So when the weekend comes, I'm like, what's the plan? Like, unless there's
Yeah.
something in the diary, you know, he's got a Chelsea season ticket, boo. And he will go off.
Dean's
And
keeping
He's
very
not
quiet
coming on
about
the
that one.
podcast.
I didn't think you would. You know, he'll go off, you know, with his mates to go and watch the footy, you know, but I don't know, I'm kind of like, go and do that, because I also know that within my role now, I have a lot more freedom to go and do what I need to get done so that I'm in a good place, and I want him to be in a good place too. So it's like, absolutely go and do what you need to go
if you
do.
were off, if you were, say, it's not off all week, but you know what I mean.
know what you mean.
You know, not working all week.
flexibility.
Yeah, had the flexibility. You probably would be a bit more like that with me. I know
Yeah.
you are a bit, but you're not really like Dean.
I'd get more done in the week.
You're not really like Dean go and play golf or Dean go and play football.
am.
No, I'm a bit like.
I'm not going to play golf.
Do you mind if I go to West Ham this week?
Oh, West Ham, he comes back at like 2:00 in the morning, absolutely mullered when he goes to see West Ham. That's because you're all or nothing. Dean is all or nothing. There is no middle ground with you. Dean is either going for a round of golf and then spending like 8 hours on the 19th hole, is
I
it?
spend a long time in the 19th. Yeah.
That's when you
That's my favourite hole. It's a great hole.
Absolutely gets fun. There's no medium. You can't just go like out and have a couple of drinks and lunch after golf. It's all or nothing with you, isn't it?
Depends who I'm playing with.
It's
If
all
I'm
or
playing with
nothing.
someone who's a bit game for a drink, then it tends to turn that way. If I'm not, then it doesn't. It's just
what
company
it goes.
you keep, isn't it? The company
It
you
is,
keep
I agree.
is very important in that sort of
I've
scenario.
got friends who I'll go for coffees with. I've got friends who I'll go for bottles of wine with.
Yeah.
And you know who they are.
But one of the things I wanted to talk to you about today, because it's probably I think it sticks out in my mind because it was the first reel I probably ever saw of yours, and I just looked at it and you just think yes, and it was one about, and you've made a few of these, and I think they're some of your best work. The school WhatsApp groups.
Oh, the class WhatsApp.
Oh my God. I think you made one and it was like about a cardigan or something.
Oh God,
and then
yeah.
all the messages started popping up around you about this bloody cardigan. And you're like, oh my gosh, the WhatsApp groups. Because you are class rep, aren't you?
I am now. I am class rep. Yeah.
So just, do you know what that means, Dean?
Are you the pain in the arse that always goes in the WhatsApp group and asks for money?
I am the incredibly helpful parent who tries to keep all the other parents on track. Yes, Dean, is that what you meant?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I'm class rep. But do you know what? Because I've had so many, different WhatsApp groups, and to be clear, like what I make my reels about isn't necessarily going on in my WhatsApp group, because people always go, oh my God, is that what's going on in your WhatsApp group?
Yeah.
No, because people send me so many stories. But, I've seen it done well and I've seen it done not so well. And I'm trying to find that middle ground of not being that person who basically sends all the comms or all the hours. And it's ridiculous as well. So just yesterday, and this is kind of, I know, plea for the reps. This just yesterday, we had comms come in from the PTA, we had comms come in from the school, we had comms come in from the class, and then there's some just usual day-to-day kind of upkeep and stuff. And everyone was like, please can you send this out to your classes? I'm like, no.
Oh, you
No.
stood your ground.
No,
It's too much.
No, it's too much. It's too much for people. No, I'm not sending all this out to them. There's some things that can wait until the newsletter on Sunday. This is not a time-sensitive piece of information. People do not need to be getting this right now. And I know I'm probably going to get my knuckles wrapped if anyone from the school's listening to this and going, you're supposed to send it out immediately. But I'll take a judgment if it's time-sensitive.
Yeah.
I know what it was like to open my WhatsApp, having been on a call, and have 56,000 messages thunder through about lost cardigans or kitty money or sponsored wear your gloves on your feet day or whatever it is. And I know what it's like. So you just get to the point where you're like, no, I want to give the parents enough opportunity to take in that information themselves.
And can I ask, on your WhatsApp groups that
Yes.
you're leading on,
Yes.
what would you say the balance of mums to dads on that WhatsApp group
That's
is?
all mum, surely.
No.
Oh,
No.
oh.
No, there's a lot of dads on ours.
Yes,
Yeah,
Dean.
I'm on Daisy's. So I'm on it, but it's on
you're-
silent.
He's got it muted, right? So the other day, so this ended up...
To be
No.
fair to Daisy's one, it's run quite well.
Yeah.
But I do look on there. It's on silent. There's not much on there.
No. It
Bit of
doesn't
money
look-
now and
it's
again.
muted. So the other day, they needed money for this cake sale, right?
Donuts it was. Was it donuts?
Isn't a donut a type of cake?
Really?
That's a bit pedantic.
Okay.
Picking hairs at me today. So I've got Kelly here as backup. And I know she's going to be on my team about this. So basically, they were asking for money and it was PayPal. And I'm not being funny, I'm absolutely useless. I can only just about bank transfer. So I was like, PayPal. So I tagged Dean. I said, Dean, can you pay this? Anyway, next day, she's like, we've still not got any money. Like, da, da, da. Anyway, next day, I tagged Dean again. I was like, Dean, can you pay this? So now I'm a little bit like, everyone on the group's going to think that Dean's just ignoring me. So I was like, Dean, can you pay this? Anyway, they eventually spoke to him about it. He's like, oh, I've got the group on mute. I said, right, well, now you're so late and I'm embarrassed. You need to put a £5 for these cakes, whatever. I was like, you now need to put a £10, didn't you?
Yeah.
Have you paid that yet?
I paid it, yeah.
Oh, good.
I paid a tenner.
But on the group, I put something like, oh, I made Dean pay £10
But that group isn't
because
too
he has it
bad,
on mute.
but I'm not on Ruby's one. I don't know. I don't know. I've got more friends on kind of in Ruby's class, haven't I? I know more of the parents.
Okay.
So if I ever need to know anything, like whether it's PE day.
No. We've missed a lot on the WhatsApp group.
Have we?
Yes.
Why aren't you on it then?
I am. I'm on both of them.
So how have we missed it?
No, because I'll be teaching and it'll be in the drawer.
It doesn't disappear the message. You
No, I
read it
know,
later.
but Dean, she's only been at school a few weeks in year 1. How many times have you taken her in the wrong uniform?
Do you not have a newsletter?
No, I
He's
don't.
not on that either, Kelly.
I
do everything.
No, this is what happened. Sarah sent me the newsletter.
I keep trying to stick up for
Because I do
yourself.
the mornings,
Let's
most
attack.
mornings. So Sarah sent me the newsletter, and it was Wednesday, Thursday for Ruby's PE. It was a Tuesday. And she came down in her school uniform. She was well happy she got herself ready in there. And I'm like, it's PE today. This was on Tuesday. She's like, it's not. I was like, it is. I had it in my head. It was Tuesday, Thursday. Got her changed into her PE kit, took her in, dropped her off, didn't even notice any of the other kids not in PE. Then I looked at the newsletter later in the day when I picked them up. I said, bloody hell. PE, and Daisy was like, yeah, Ruby was crying at school because you and I felt I did feel really awful because I was like, she knew it wasn't and I've convinced her it was, and it was awful. Yeah, that was one of my non-final moments as a parent.
So, shall I put you on Ruby's WhatsApp group now? Because if you were on that, there's little reminders like, it's PE today.
I think it is useful, especially for stuff like that. Yeah, the PE kit's a pain in the arse because it always changes as well.
But there's ways that... Do you have class reps?
Yeah.
There's ways that they can kind of help with that as well. So here we go. When I say there's another WhatsApp group, you're going, don't have another one. But we have 2 WhatsApp groups for our class. So we have the chat, the generic chat that you see everyone having. All the news is posted on there, but we also have a news channel. And what we recommend is if anyone doesn't want to get involved with the chat and have 50,000 messages on there, they just have the news channel, which literally is just the weekly newsletter that I produce.
God, you do a newsletter.
But no one
Cool,
talks.
girl.
But no one talks on there.
No one talks. The only person.
What if someone forgets and talks?
You can't
Yeah,
because
you
locked.
can't.
It's locked. So only admins can post. So only
okay.
myself and the other rep can post.
Oh, okay.
So we just post what's going on that week, any links and stuff. All the documents are on there. So there's no chit chat. There's no nothing. It's just this is everything that you need to know. No chit chat. That's it.
Why would you need chit chat? You might as well just post a news channel and everyone knows what's going on.
Oh, everyone likes a chat on a WhatsApp.
He doesn't. Look at him.
You do, but that's why you need the news channel. That's why you need the news channel.
that is a great idea.
Why don't you run the news
chit-chat.
channel?
Pardon?
Why don't you run the news channel?
Because all you're doing is forwarding the other stuff onto it, and then on a Sunday I produce a newsletter that goes out, which is what everyone needs to know for the week ahead.
And
I've
I
got
think
a little
on your thing, you need like a little list of like WhatsApp ground rules. For example, if somebody's lost a cardigan or a water bottle, only reply if you've got it. Like we don't need to have like, not me. We don't have it. I've checked so-and-so's bag. It's not there. Okay, great. The person only wants to know if you do have it. We don't need like 7,000 messages about you checking or you not having it.
No,
set the rules.
We started saying in Abby's class last year to reply with emojis.
Okay.
And just a reply to the message. So it wasn't like as it's coming down. It was just like, even like with party invites, if you can come to the party.
Do a poll.
Well, it wasn't even a poll. It was more
thumbs up.
We put thumbs up. I would say, give an emoji of any of your liking, whatever your heart desires. Give this an emoji to let me know you're coming.
Okay.
That's it.
I think thumbs up's a bit passive aggressive, isn't it? It's like.
Well, that's the thing. Well, exactly. I'm like,
yes. It is a bit passive aggressive. That
is there going to be booze? What time is it? No, it's not.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like doing that one. I do that one with the hands like that.
Oh, the okay sign like that.
Yeah, like that. That's like mint.
Okay.
Whereas that's a bit like. Yeah, it's a bit. I don't like it.
See, when you said you were picking me up from the station, I gave you that.
No, you can walk in the rain.
So rude. Oops. But then I also I don't like giving the heart emoji because it's like, oh, I love this. It's like, oh, that feels a bit dramatic, a bit.
Oh no, I love a heart.
Oh, I love the heart one.
Yeah, it's because
okay, so I should give hearts next time.
Yeah,
you message
give
me.
hearts. We love a heart,
not a thumbs up, because Dean thinks I'm being passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I think we've taken from this as well, Dean. I'm going to add you to more of the school WhatsApp groups, and I'm also going to make him get the newsletter because then he won't miss anything, will he?
No.
Do you want the school newsletter?
Yeah, I am heavily involved, so I should do it.
Because I just tend to screenshot it and send it to him, send it to him. But the problem is you don't read them, do you?
No. I'll never remember lunchbox. How can we do that one?
What do you mean?
Because I always make the lunchbox and just leave it in the fridge, and then go to school, realise I haven't got the lunchbox, and have to come back.
I don't physically know how I can help you with that one. Set an alarm on your phone.
It's a nightmare, that. Yeah.
We'll try. But Kelly, we have got you in today, and just going to move away from the WhatsApp chat because I really want to make sure we have time. So Dean and I were thinking about what we wanted to chat with you today, and we often have reflections within the weeks between filming podcasts where we think about what we're going to talk about. And we kind of were chatting about things that we wish we knew before becoming parents.
Yeah.
Because each stage of our parenting journey, obviously mistakes are made, or you learn from different things and everything. So we were thinking, right, so if you could go back in time and pre-parent, is there anything that you wish you'd known?
I mean, everything. No, do you know, I didn't want to know everything, because if I did, I probably wouldn't have had kids in the first place, if you know exactly what's coming. Silly little things like NCT does not teach you how to be a parent. NCT teaches you about birth and nothing else. I genuinely thought I was going to go to NCT and I was going to come out this perfect parent, and I came out not having a clue. That's not true. You don't have to buy all the books, I think would be another thing that I'd kind of throw at people. But I think for me, the biggest thing that I wish I'd known is how much it would change me and my identity and how I saw myself and how life was going to be. I walked in there with my career being the most important thing to me in the world, and genuinely believing that my children would arrive and they would fit around my working life and my social life, and children would just slot in.
Yeah.
We all know. That is so incorrect. It's unbelievable. And I've had, after we'd had the kids, I'd have friends who got pregnant after us, and they'd just be like, oh, no, the kids are just going to slot in around us. And you're sitting there just going,
I mean, some people do kind of parent like that in a way. They do, don't they?
I don't think anyone can realistically...
Not that they try to, but...
I mean, you say about that losing your identity. I would say that parenting has even changed me to my core, in which, and this is going to sound really random, but I used to really love adrenaline, thrill-seeking experiences,
like roller coasters,
all things like that, and even down to, I don't know, I think that instinct in me is just, even if there was like a fight in a bar or a club that I was in and I was on the outskirts, I'd always try and like break it up or get involved, or just I was like a natural helper. And it's really random, but even to the point where now I've got the kids, I shy myself away from any situation that would put myself in danger. Does that make sense? Like,
totally agree.
Because I just want to be around for them, and I know it's really stupid. I'm not going to get punched in a bar fight or like, but I don't know. Just there's so many experiences, even down to going on roller coasters. I don't want to do it anymore.
I don't.
Do you think that's more of a mum thing than it is dad thing? The identity change, because. Do you think?
I don't know. Why? Do you not agree?
I don't feel it the same. Don't feel my identity has changed a massive amount since having kids. If I'm completely honest.
That's
because before I had kids, I still had the same job.
Yeah.
I still liked all the same things.
Yeah.
The only real change for me is my mornings are obviously more stressful because I've got the kids, and the weekends are different. I love being a dad. Obviously, my identity is being a dad. I would never not want to be. But in terms of the way I see myself, I don't see myself hugely different.
That's interesting. See, I do. But then again, I think it comes back to what we were talking about earlier, whereas part of my identity still is being a teacher, and part of my identity is still being a parent and all that. But I would say everything, even my teaching style has changed as a result of having children, because every situation I put myself in school, like we were saying earlier in the car, I was saying, if in this situation, how would I want somebody to treat my child in this situation? How would, every single situation I've got with a child at school, I'm very reflective. And I even would go as far as to say that having children has changed me as a teacher, because I've now gone through that school journey as a parent. And, I am more empathetic to the parents and their, qualms or their feelings and stuff, because I've lived it and I've felt it.
I think also I've definitely got a lot more patient.
Yes.
Like, I was not a patient human being in any way, shape or form. Very ratty. Paint myself a lovely picture. But actually having kids, I've had to learn so many new skills like patience.
Yeah. Can you teach Dean?
God, I am really.
But surely now, like, I bet you any money, like, you must be a lot calmer. I mean, I know you say in the mornings are stressful with the girls, but you will not, I swear, shout at them immediately if they're being annoying. Like, it might work up to that potentially.
No, it can work. It can work up to that.
But that's showing more patience, surely. That is you levelling out.
Yeah,
a little
I
bit.
guess.
And I see you all the time taking a deep breath.
It's hard to remember what I was kind of like pre-kids. I was quite. You had less stress to be impatient about. I did anyway. I know you know, you had a really busy job and stuff, but I did. So I wasn't massively impatient before I had kids. So I had nothing making me like that. Whereas now I've got kids, there's a lot more stress in my life. There is now.
Do you think it's not necessarily the stress? It's the more like you were saying then about you when before you had kids, you just lived your life on your own timeline, your own schedule. But now you don't have control of that schedule. You've got the school run, you've got clubs, you've got my schedule.
No,
You're not living to your own
I'm
schedule.
a lot more anxious person now. I am. I feel like I'm quite a not really strong anxiety, but I can feel like that kind of constant anxiety kind of there. I'm not ever really dramatically chilled out because I want to do well at everything. I want to be a great dad, great husband, great at work, and that pressure makes me like. Whereas before I had kids, I was always a bit of a not down and out, but I wasn't like I am now.
But don't you
much more
think
driven.
the biggest pressure you can have? You are looking after two little lives everywhere you go.
Well, you are, but do you think that's more down to the fact that the kids have given you a purpose that you didn't have previously?
Oh no, I would say I'm more bit more stressed, but I sound more fulfilled now.
Yeah.
Whereas before I was not, I don't know, just sort of wandering through life with not really. I know that's like you live in like this blissful peace, but nothing was really happening. You know. Whereas my life is much more fulfilled now, but I think that does come with a bit of internal stress with it. You can't live in like this utopian bliss and be successful and great at this stuff. I don't think you can.
No, you can't.
So if somebody had said to you before having kids, oh, by the way, you might expect to feel more anxious or you might expect to feel more pressure, would that have necessarily helped? Like, we're talking about things you wanted to know before you became a parent.
Yeah, we've gone off a bit track with that.
No, I know, but no. I know it's still on track. Yeah. You have to experience it to say, like, I don't know.
I would never go back to that life before. Never, ever. Like, I miles prefer this.
Okay.
Miles prefer
this. Nice.
No, I completely agree with you. Like, I look back when I was, young, free and single, and going out and clubbing and stuff. And actually all I really wanted to be was at home eating shepherd's pie watching Antiques Roadshow, even in my 20s, quite frankly. I just did not. And all of a sudden parenting's come and I'm like, actually this is my excuse to be able to start doing
you just did those things because you felt like that's what you had to do?
I felt there's a lot of pressure. I worked in the magazine industry when I first came out of university, and it was party central. It was, that was what you were expected to do. You're supposed to look a certain way, behave a certain way, mingle in a certain way. That's what you did. And I think it was always, again, just trying to, whatever society was telling you should be being at that point, that's what you wanted to be.
Yeah.
But actually, motherhood did change me. But what I wish I'd known is that the change was going to be a good thing. I think it's more that when I started to kind of, in the early days when it's just a fog, isn't it, of like, lack of sleep and just them throwing up on you all the time, and everyone tells you it's going to be beautiful and it really isn't. And I think that's another thing as well, like having those expectations, realistic expectations of what parenting's going to be, not because it's going to scare you, but because actually you're not the only one finding this hard. And I think that's the other thing as well, like when you start to find it hard, you don't feel like you can talk to people properly about it, because you look around, everyone seems to have it together, and you're like, well, maybe I'm the only one that's struggling, and oh my God, I'm failing. And then you start to spiral a little bit. But actually, I think knowing that parenting is hard doesn't mean it's not joyful. It doesn't mean it's not amazingly fulfilling in a way that nothing ever was previously. Two things can be, conflicting things can be happening at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think it's those kind of things I wish I'd known more of, because I gave myself such a hard time about finding things difficult.
My old boss said to me, the first year, you're going to not enjoy the first year, Dean. That's what he said to me. It's not great when they're a baby. And I was ready for that, because the first year wasn't great. No. And I just sort of accepted that.
I think as well, I remember looking at other people thinking, Oh my gosh, they've done so much today, especially, you know, that impact of social media. And I think I've got up, I've put a wash on, managed to get Daisy to school with my coat on top and of my pajamas. Like,
productive day for you.
I know, jeez. But I'd be proud of that. And then you'd go on social media, like certain celebrities or whatever, and it'd be like they had a child the same age as me. Oh, they've just knocked up a flower wall in their utility room and organised all their cupboards whilst having this little baby at home. And I'm thinking, I literally have done the school run and managed to put a wash on, and that's all I've achieved this morning.
But isn't comparison just the thief of all joy and sanity?
Yeah.
Like,
In everything.
It's
In
absolutely
everything.
insane. Like, I remember looking around in the early years going, you know, when is this, you know, when are they going to roll over? When are they going to do this? Because such and such is baby's doing this and this. And sometimes, like, within parent-baby groups at the beginning, you've always got those parents whose little Tallulah has, you know...
Walked at 7 months,
Oh my
cooked
God.
a fry up at age 3.
Read Encyclopedia Britannica last week.
Like, no one
you know
cares.
what I mean? You're just like...
Nobody cares apart from you, so just keep it yourself.
They don't. No, but they want to... But I always think... I now look back now going, those people... I actually feel quite sorry for them because clearly things were not okay because they were struggling, because they were having to profess how amazing it was, because clearly it wasn't. And I only learned that looking back now. Like, often the people that were smiling the most were hurting the most, and but didn't ever want to say because they hadn't got those people around, those safe people to go, I'm finding this really hard. And actually, I'm not really enjoying it, because, you know, you expect people to go, oh, you don't love your baby. It's like, no, didn't say those words, said I'm not enjoying it right now. That does not mean I don't love my baby. I love my baby more than life itself, but I'm finding it really quite shit right now, and I don't think I'm very good at this, and somebody help me. Not many people would have those conversations. That's the good side, I think, of social media to come out. You've got the comparison side where everyone's trying to say it's amazing, but then I think you've got the other side, which is, we were talking about it earlier, about keeping it real and being very, very honest about parenting experiences. Not everyone's going to agree with you, but we're not talking to everyone.
No.
We are talking to those people who think that because they're finding it hard, they're failing. Those are the people that we're talking to, and I think that's what we've always got to keep in our heads whenever we're producing any kind of content or telling any kind of story. I'm not talking to the amazing people who've got wonderful clean kitchens and their life is so sweet.
Yeah, they'll look at my content or our content and think, what are they moaning about? My life's perfect. But that's fine.
It's not for you. It's not for you. I'm talking to the people who are on the floor right now thinking that they are failing every single day because they've given their kids chicken nuggets, or they're giving their kids screen time, or, you know, they just want to escape for a little bit and they're feeling really shit about it. I'm talking to those people. I'm not talking to the other people. If they've got a happy, smiley life, that's great.
I think that's probably something I wish I'd have known. You know, when you were saying about don't read the baby books or don't do this and don't do that, is actually, I just wish somebody had told me when I was pregnant, look, this baby's going to come out, and what works for your baby might not work for somebody else's. Correct. And what works for somebody else's might not work for you. And you're a mum, so you're not going to experience the same feelings as another mum. And do you know what? Every single child, parent, everything is slightly different. Yeah. Like, you could give me the best advice in the world that's working for you, and it could make my life or my children worse. You just don't know, do you? Like,
that's why I don't give advice.
Yeah,
I would have done sleep training. I would if I go back again.
Yeah,
I would have done that.
But would you? I don't think I agree with him. Would you? I know we're having trouble with them at night time, like getting them off or whatever. But I don't think you're ever going to regret your bedtimes with Ruby, especially as two working parents. So I went back to work when, you know, you said you went back to work
regret
as well.
Them. They
when
were
I was
absolutely painful.
When I was
what are you on about?
I went back to work when Daisy was 7 months old, and I remember that there were nights where I'd be racing home and I'd be like, is she awake? Is she awake?
Yeah.
And she wasn't. And am I going to regret the fact that probably until Daisy was about 2, and I'm not joking, until Daisy was 2, when she was a baby, we used to cuddle her to sleep, didn't we? Yeah. And then when she got a little bit older, we used to hold her hand till she went to sleep, right? And then we kind of managed to just be in the room.
I'm not
and
saying
then it wasn't till she was 4.
There's anything wrong with this.
But I'm not going to regret
that.
that.
It wasn't for me.
No.
I did not enjoy that part of it. I hated it. I thought.
No, but imagine if you'd never done it.
I wouldn't care.
Really? Even if you're at work all day?
No, look, now I lie with Ruby for 20 minutes. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. They was like 2 and 3 and 4 hour bedtimes. I'm sorry. You used to text me saying, I'm done with this shit. I used to text saying, this is absolutely hopeless. So you can't, we've just forgotten how bad that was. Yeah. So parents going through it now and they feel like that, it's not a great thing to experience when it's taking that long at all. So if we'd done the sleep training, it's not for everyone, but I think it would have helped us at that period.
Well, so that is something you feel like no regrets, because we don't want to say
no
regrets.
No. If I wish I'd known how painful bedtime could get, i.e. hours of my life. Like sometimes I started at 7, they weren't going to sleep till 11. There was some nights like that.
Oh, well, you're talking about the baby stage. What are you talking about? When
baby stage was a bit like that, even when they were 1, 2. Like say when you went out, I think Ruby was maybe 1.
Yeah.
And then
I used to have to come home. I'd be out, like Clapham or something. He'd be like, come home. And then by the time I'd got home, she was asleep.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be like the resentment that used to build between us.
But did it help you, though, knowing the cavalry was coming? Like, do you think that's why she went to sleep? Because you were all of a sudden calmer. You relaxed because the cavalry was coming.
So what was happening is if I was on my own, I would like rock her a little bit, and I would probably be tense because I'd be like, please go to sleep, please go to sleep, please. And I'm getting tenser and tenser and tenser. They can feel it on you. Okay. And then when Sara was coming over, I'd be like, or if Sara was downstairs, she wasn't even out, but I was doing bedtime, it was a lot easier because I knew, okay, if this doesn't go well, Sara can come and take over.
Tag team.
It used to go better, but when she went out, I could feel the tension building in me, and I just couldn't get away from it. No.
So just knowing that Sara was coming home actually made you. So that's what you should have done. Just said I'm coming, stayed out partying,
just pretended. I'm on my way, and roll in at 3 o'clock.
Everyone would have won by that point.
No, it's probably my saving grace because I don't do well with hangovers anyway, so it was good. So I don't really stay up past 10 now. 10:30?
No, I went out, met some of my girlfriends for drinks and dinner last night, and then I was in bed, already with my lotions and potions all over my face by 10:30, and I was quite happy with myself. I was smug.
It's a late night.
It was a late night, actually, but I was already tucked up by that point.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else, Dean, that you think that you would like to have known?
I'm going to praise your mum now, actually. I think a support network is incredibly important. I feel like without your mum's help in those early years, like looking after them, picking them up from nursery, having them at weekends sometimes so we can have a break, I feel like parenting is a lot harder.
Yeah, I agree.
I've been quite thankful for that. I think we've been, and obviously my mum was living closer when when Daisy was younger. She's moved away, but she's got the kids this weekend. So
happy days.
Having a support network like that, I feel like. Again, sometimes I moan about parenting on social media. Not moan about it, but say how hard it is and stuff. And people are having it a lot harder than I am because we've always had that network around us. I didn't feel like that'd be a problem when you were pregnant. First of all, I'd be like, no, we'll be all right. We cope, be easy. That's how you feel, didn't you? I bit. We'll cope. We'll get by. And then.
But family structures have changed, haven't they? If you look back in the day, like people stayed in the same towns, villages that they were in, where their mums, their dads, their brothers, their sisters, uncles, aunties, everyone was there. So you had that community around you. And you'd always, I spoke to mum, because when I was going back to work, we had Ian's parents to help. But other than that, I was very much like, I want to pay for childcare. I actually want to create that village. If you pay for it or you create it, however you do it, I want to do it that way, because then I felt more in control of it. I said to Mum, what did you do? And she was like, well, we had your nan and granddad, and then we had your Auntie Tricia, and we had this person and that person. She said, so it was a completely different time and a completely different setup. She could still go to work knowing that not only was I safe, but I was safe with either a family member or, someone that they knew really, really well. So it was a very, very different setup. And like you say, nowadays, people don't have that, especially because more people are leaving their hometowns to move somewhere else for work.
Everyone lived next to each other, didn't they, back in the day? No, everyone's scattered everywhere.
No, which, again, a piece of advice would always be that when you do get to school age, make sure you build that school community, that village from the school parents, because, my God, when you're ill or they're ill and you need someone to take the other child to school or whatever it may be, pickups, drop-offs, that you need to have built that village by that point, and that makes that side of things so much more bearable.
That's why you yapping at school in the school playground is quite a good thing.
It's networking.
We'll take the kids to school together on a Thursday, Friday. We'll walk down together, and she's like just talking to every parent in there. I'm just standing there like a fucking loose idiot, like just
shut up.
Yeah, because I just don't know.
I'm that mum.
Yeah. But you're good at that, which is good for the kids, definitely. Better than me. I'm trying to be better. I am. I've got a few little dads.
Few little pals.
Few little dads
Small
that I talk to
friends.
now, and I make a bit more effort with because I thought, God, I can't be like this recluse the whole time. So I do make a bit more effort, definitely.
It's harder, like, when you're working full-time as well. I completely get that. I felt very out of the whole school community when I was working full-time because I wasn't doing pickup, I wasn't doing drop-offs, and it was really hard. But again, what we introduced last year in Abby's class was socials. So it wasn't just going to the pub for drinks, it was doing escape rooms, it was going to Bongo's Bingo, it was going for coffees, it was whatever. But we picked different activities at different times of the day to make sure that all parents could come at some point to get to know people. And then we all got to meet parents that we'd never even met before because they were always working or we were always working or whatever it may be. And it massively helps.
Even like kids' parties help a bit. So when I go a bit and you like say hello to dad.
Hold on. Just got to interject there.
Oh, when's the last one?
Yeah, only because me and my friend Francesca, hi Chairs if you're listening, we went to a party on the Saturday and we were like, we're at a kids' party, and then we were like, we've got another one this time tomorrow as well. And we were sitting there and I went, do you know what, I'm going to make Dingo. And she went, oh, I said, yeah, you make Dango as well. I said, they can go together. And do you know what? At first, I think you were both a bit like, oh, I don't want to do that. You were.
It was all right,
but you went and it was all right because you kind of went, you went
had
together.
Yeah, we had each other and one other, so us three sort of stood there and talked.
But who does the majority of the kids' parties?
But if you're standing there on your own, I've seen like parents at kids' party on their own, I think, that couldn't be me.
Go and speak to them. Oh, that's like the school playground, that is, isn't it, though? You know, like if you go to the party and you're the parent on your own, I would always go up to that parent and be like, hiya.
Yeah, but you're like that. I find that quite difficult. What do I say? Hello? You're a bit lonely in here, are we? Come here often. What do you say?
They think you're trying to pick them up in a really weird way.
Yeah,
You're
I'm not
such
good
an
at that.
oddball.
Do you not do drop-off parties yet?
Yes, with Daisy. But I think, you know, like when they're in reception, and it's the year of the class parties, isn't it? We're just she's year 1 now, so hopefully we'll tip out of it soon.
It's a lot. Ian and I just literally.
Do you tag team it?
Yeah, no, we kind of do one on, so like I'll do the next one, then he'll do the next one, and so on. It depends what the topic. It depends what it is, because I'm not a confident driver. I am a confident driver. I'm not a happy driver if I'm going somewhere I don't know. If the parties are very local, I'm happy enough to go. But if they are, some of them have been in very, very odd locations,
like Flip Out or something.
Yeah, but just you know, I'll say to him, can you take that one? He's like, yeah, I can take that one, it's fine. But he always just laughs and says, I don't mind being unsociable, and he really doesn't. He'll take his book.
Oh.
He'll take his book.
I wish I had that inner confidence. I'm sitting there like, hi. I'll text one of the other dads to make sure they're going, and if they ain't, there's no chance I'm going. I'm like, sorry, you're doing this one.
So say if I wasn't there, and you had the choice between the kid not going to the party, or you would still take her.
Yeah,
okay.
I'd take them. Get your mum to drop them off. She's quite sociable.
There you go. Yeah, but then in a few years' time, it's not going to be a problem because there'll all be drop-off parties. And then what's brilliant, because that's the other thing, we do it with other parents. So sometimes, if there is a lot of parties, especially the class parties, I tap up the other parents and we all do it. It's like, well, I'll take 3 of them this time, which means you get out 3 parties that are coming up, and then
I'm sure Dean would love to take 3 girls in the back of the car, wouldn't you, Dean? Screaming, excited girls.
Oh, I've done it. What I remember, was it Daisy's party? Yeah, like 4 of them in the back. You know, yeah.
Was it a lot?
Just chatting shit.
But isn't it funny listening into that little conversations?
Just chatting so much shit. It was unbelievable.
It's like drunk people in a taxi, isn't it? I just love listening into what they're on about.
And they're so hyper. It's like, rather than being drunk, they're just on the sugar high from the party.
Oh my God, it's crazy. But they also, like you say, they talk utter rubbish, and sometimes I can hear Abby making stuff up about where we're going on holiday and this, that, and the other. I'm like, none of this is true. But I'm loving listening to everything you're saying right now.
I love that. Well, on that note, we might have to wrap up today because we're going on a weekend away, just the 2 of us.
Jealous.
You don't look very excited. I think Kelly's more excited than you.
I am looking forward to it. I mean, let's be honest, we are just going to Wales and it's absolutely pissing it down outside, so it's...
Yeah.
But it'll still be good, just me and you.
We could still be in the car together for 4 hours,
nice
having
cuddles.
lovely chats.
You're driving.
Nice cuddles.
I'll be driving.
You're driving.
Absolutely no chance I'm letting him drive me on the motorway. I'll be going, brake, stop.
Yeah. Dreadful.
Slow down. Well, I'm really looking forward to it now with you. Thanks, babe.
Do you want me to send you some good wines?
Do you want to come instead?
I think, shall I come with you?
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine.
You're a twat. Anyway, but no, honestly though, Kelly, thank you so much for coming in today. It's been lovely to have you to bounce off and pick on Dean with me. So thank you. And if you are on Instagram or TikTok, then please give her a follow. It's Kids and the Commute.
Is that just your handle? Yeah, at Kids and the Commute.
Yeah, at Kids and the Commute.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Enjoy Wales.
Thanks.